The bell above the cafe door jingled, a soft chime that barely pierced the lull of an ordinary Thursday afternoon in Portland. Thomas Reynolds looked up from his laptop. Same corner seat. Same black coffee. Same quiet escape from a world that had felt unbearably loud since his wife died 2 years ago. That's when he saw her, dark hoodie, pale hands gripping a steaming mug, and eyes that looked as if they'd seen more sorrow than someone her age should. She was maybe 22. Alone. She sat 2 tables away, tapping her pen against a napkin like she was waiting for courage. She stayed only 30 minutes. She barely touched her drink. When she stood to leave, she caught his gaze briefly, just a flicker. Something passed between them. A quiet hello. A silent goodbye. Then she was gone. Thomas didn't think much of it, until the waitress came to clean her table. She left this behind, she said, handing him a folded receipt. Thomas frowned. Why give it to me? It has your name on the back. Confused, he turned it over. There, in shaky handwriting. Thomas Reynolds, I read your book. It saved my life once. Can you meet me here tomorrow? Before I run out of time. L. His chest tightened. He hadn't published in years, not since The Spaces Between Us, a novel about grief and healing that he wrote during his wife's chemo treatments. It had touched a few lives, earned quiet praise, then faded into obscurity. He never thought it mattered. But clearly, it had. Thomas couldn't sleep that night. Questions spun like autumn leaves in a windstorm. Who was she? How did she know his name? What did she mean by, before I run out of time? The next day, he arrived early. Nervous. Hopeful. Terrified. She came in at 9:03 a.m. Same hoodie. Same hollow eyes. I didn't think you'd come, she said. I almost didn't, he admitted. They sat in silence for a minute, 2 strangers bound by a thread of words from years ago. My name is Lily, she finally said. I'm 23. And I'm dying. Thomas's breath caught. What happened? She looked out the window. Stage 4 osteosarcoma. They gave me 6 months. That was 7 months ago. He said nothing, sensing this wasn't a moment to interrupt. I wanted to end it, she said. One night in the hospital, I almost did. But a nurse left your book on my nightstand. Said it helped her through something once. She paused. There's a line in it, we don't heal alone. We heal when someone sees the broken parts and stays anyway. I clung to that. I thought, if the author of those words could sit with me, even once, maybe I could go without feeling like I was nothing. Thomas blinked away tears. His words had been born of agony. He never imagined they might hold someone else together. I'm glad you came, she said, softly. They talked for hours. About life. About death. About pain and poetry and the strange beauty of borrowed time. She showed him a notebook, filled with sketches, quotes, and letters she'd never sent. I call it my almosts, she said. All the things I almost did. I just wanted someone to see them. To say they mattered. Over the next few weeks, Thomas visited her often. Sometimes at the café. Sometimes at her small apartment where paint peeled from the walls and her cat, Milo, slept on her chest. They laughed. They cried. And slowly, she handed him pieces of her story. Then one morning, he arrived to find her gone. The landlord handed him a small envelope with his name. Inside, a key, and a letter. Dear Thomas. I'm sorry I couldn't say goodbye in person. My time came like the tide, quiet but certain. But I didn't want you to grieve me like you did your wife. You already gave me something she might not have had. A peaceful ending. A feeling that I mattered. There's a box under my bed. It's full of letters and poems. Use them. Share them. Tell our story, if you want. Maybe someone else will read it and choose to stay. Thank you, for seeing me. For staying. With love. Lily. Thomas didn't write for months. Grief felt familiar. Heavy. But not hopeless this time. One fall morning, he opened the box. Letters to her father who abandoned her. To a teacher who believed in her. To the boy who broke her heart. And to the stranger in a café who reminded her she was human. He compiled them into a book titled The Girl at the Café. It became a sensation. Not because it was polished or perfect, but because it was real. Raw. Full of fragile hope and aching beauty. People wrote in from around the world, sharing stories of second chances, reconciliations, lives saved by Lily's courage. In the final chapter, Thomas wrote. Some stories begin with goodbye. But others, like Lily's, begin with a receipt, a cup of coffee, and a heart still willing to hope. And in the cafe where they first met, a framed note now hangs above the corner seat. We don't heal alone. We heal when someone sees the broken parts, and stays anyway. Sometimes, the smallest act, like showing up, can become the turning point in someone's life. Never underestimate the power of kindness, connection, or the quiet magic of being seen.